We're rolling, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. We are live at, well, we're not live, but thank you everybody for showing up to the Moment with Ashley panel
Woo!
At Saturday Morning Contoons. I'm very excited. Sounds like Ashley's excited. Are you excited?
I'm
That's the first question.
I am super excited. Did I pass the first question?
I mean, like, jury's still out, but
Is this graded or pass or fail? I need to know right now.
it is graded, but it's going to be graded on a very generous curve.
Okay.
So odds are you're going to pass, unless I don't like the answers, in which case then it's fail. So really it's pass fail.
It's my English class all over again.
I mean, I guess that leads me into the first question I have as I professionally look at the email I sent myself with all the questions. To really bring it back to the roots, right? Like, what was your childhood like? What was your upbringing like? Like, what is the Ashley of yesteryear?
So I was adopted. I was adopted by an elderly couple, and I was born and raised in San Jose, California. I technically lived in Los Gatos, but literally, if you threw a stone across the street from my house, it was San Jose. I just lived on the border of the town. So, I was basically in San Jose my whole life. And I grew up on an apricot farm, actually. Yeah, it's weird.
That's not the answer I expected.
Yeah, I grew up on an apricot orchard, and I would pick apricots and prune the trees and cut them and dry them and sell them every summer. And it was a lot of fun. We had the best apricots in the entire world, and nobody can convince me otherwise. Every time I try and buy apricots from the store or the farmer's market, they taste disgusting, and I'm so disappointed in every other apricot farmer on the planet.
So, follow-up question off the cuff, not on the list I had here. So I've never had an apricot. What, are they sweet?
So they're supposed to be very, the ones that we grew were almost savory sweet. They're very, very sweet. They have a very unique taste.
Yeah.
But everywhere you get them, they're so bitter and disgusting, and it makes me so mad.
Clearly we hit, pet peeves question early.
I am very passionate about apricots,
okay?
Apricots,
yeah.
I am very passionate about apricots, okay? It was my life.
I'm glad there's this level of distance between us because it's a little scary, I'll be honest.
My love for apricots is very intense. You should be frightened.
I am very frightened, but also I'm very flattered and enamored by your passion for whatever it may be.
And the funniest part is I can't keep plants alive for the freaking life of me.
Good
Can't
save.
swear.
Good save.
I cannot grow plants for the life of me.
Well, we can't swear because the con chair is right there.
I know.
If he was gone, we would
He's
just
here to
we would just go
monitor. He
completely
knew I'm
off the
trouble.
top. Yeah, well, whatever.
But yeah, no, I can't even keep a houseplant alive at all. So, years of being raised doing agriculture didn't do much for me. But no, I grew up on an apricot orchard, and I always had a ton of animals and everything growing up. It was a very, very different experience. I wasn't allowed to play video games at all until I was late in my teens. So everybody makes fun of me that I'm bad at video games, and I'm sorry, I was busy being in nature.
You were busy being a farmer.
I was busy being a farmer. I wasn't allowed to play video games. I'm sorry.
Farmer Simulator 2020.
Oh my god, my parents were obsessed with Farm Simulator. I'm not even kidding. Not even remotely kidding.
Wait, I was too busy chewing out our con chair to hear that. What did you say?
My parents were actually obsessed with Farm Simulator games. They only played two things. They played poker games.
Do I have to keep doing this panel? Is this the thing I have to keep doing?
And then Farm Simulator games. I'm not even kidding. They were 70 years old.
That's madness. So I guess in terms of passion and personal drive, I'm curious. That's a weirdly halfway decent segue. Has nothing to do with apricots, but halfway decent segue into my next question. What would you consider your inspiration to get into animation? Because that's a very unique career choice, and I think a lot of artists out there are curious as to where that inspiration might come from.
I mean, I've always been obsessed with cartoons. Like, since I wasn't spending all of my time playing video games growing up, the only other thing that was out there was cartoons. And my family always made sure that I always had like every single VHS copy of like every Disney movie ever. And so I grew up just on tons of animated content, and I loved watching cartoons. I loved taking pictures that I would find and like redrawing them or tracing them. Like, I just always had, I don't know, I was just always drawn to animated content. Like,
I see what you did there.
I didn't even see what I did there. Thank you for catching that.
It's fine. That's what I'm here for.
I was clever without even realizing. Oh. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I've always been interested in. I can't really place why, but I think what really got me into animation and like actively pursuing it was the online animation community, because that kind of put it more close to home in a more tangible sense. Because when you think about like, oh, these Disney animators out in a studio, like it seems so far away and like so out of reach, like, oh, I'm never gonna get there. But when you see, you know, Egoraptor in his mom's basement animating, you know, the newest Newgrounds animation, it's like, oh, I could do that. So it was very inspirational to see people like just making content for the fun of it.
And so that's clearly like where your drive came from. You saw that sort of inspiration there. I'm curious as to what challenges you personally had to overcome, because like there's nobody who could really argue with the fact that you have become a success story and probably an inspiration in your own right for a lot of people. And I'm not just spitballing that. I think it's completely accurate.
Thank you.
But I am kind of curious as to, you know, what sort of hurdles you personally have to overcome. I'm probably might be using this mic a lot. I'm sorry.
I faced a few issues, and a lot of them came from me, honestly enough. I remember for the longest time I wanted to be an animator, and everybody agreed you would be a fantastic animator. You love it. You should pursue it. You know a lot about it. And I just was like, oh, it'll never happen. You know, I'm not patient enough, I'm not talented enough. It's never gonna happen, just a lot of self-denial. And so I actually didn't really get into animating or really start learning it until 2 or 3 years ago. Because then I finally like realized, I'm like, you know what, even if this can't happen, even if it doesn't happen, I wanna pursue it anyway. And it took a lot of years and a lot of self-reflection to finally realize that and accept that I want to pursue the things that I love. And I think a lot of people don't get into the things they want because they kind of don't allow themselves that. And I nearly fell into that trap too. And I mean, the other things are like health and mental health. One of the biggest things with being a freelance animator is you have to regulate yourself and be very on top of yourself. And I won't lie, I do suffer from some mental health issues. And so, you know, keeping on top of that and keeping up a freelance work style is really difficult. But if you are passionate about it and you love it, you can find a way.
So this question was inevitably going to be on the list.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Why would anything be a problem? No. Obviously, one of the biggest projects you're working on right now has been Hotel,
Yeah.
which personally I'm very excited for.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing like the first couple of animatics come out and being spellbound by the world that you and the rest of the team there are creating. But I and I'm sure plenty of other people are curious as to what it's been like to work on Has Been Hotel, because it's a very unique sort of premise, setting, and world, and I really, for the life of me, can't seem to think of anything else similar to it.
I mean, that's one of the things that drew me to Vivzi's work. When I talk about online creators who inspired me and like online creators being who really drew me into animation, she was one of them. Her Die Young animation really got me thinking. I'm like, you know what? If she made this basically all on her own, you know, what am I doing? I need to start doing this. I want to make things like this. This is amazing. And so I followed her work for a long time, and I saw her Twitter post saying, hey, I'm hiring. And I'm like, hi, hello, hi, thank you, yes, hi, job? Yes, please. But yeah, that was my first animation job ever. Like, first job on a show ever. And I am so unbelievably thankful that she gave me that chance, because now I've worked on a DreamWorks property. I've worked on the show Ollie and Scoops, which is absolutely wonderful. It's such a cute show.
It is an absolute treat.
It is so cute. I love it. I
It's
can't
adorable.
wait for the final episode to come out. It's going to be so good. But anyway, has been absolutely like mind-blowing to work on. The entire team is filled with people who are so unbelievably talented and so unbelievably kind. Like, I can't get over how much of a sense of family there is amongst the team. Everybody's so connected and willing to help each other and just wanting to be friends. Like, even the voice cast. Like, I think I'm closer with a lot of the voice cast than I am a lot of the like animators, because they're all just so sweet and friendly. But a lot of the animators and cleanup artists too are so wonderful. I love everybody on that team. And it's such a fun show. And I think everybody is so passionate about it because Viv is so passionate about it. That show is her baby, and she works so unbelievably hard.
Yeah, there's absolutely no question about that. If I can editorialize for a minute. Like, Has Been is clearly such a passionate project. And that shows, like, not just in her work, but clearly in everybody's, and all the VAs and the animators and everyone in any way involved with that show. There's clearly such a drive there, and it absolutely shows. And I think that's why it's generating as much interest as it is, which leads me into my next question, which might have already been answered, but but the next question I have written down is, what's your favorite project that you've worked on? I know that's kind of a tough one. That's a tough question.
That's hard, because I really have loved like all of the projects that I've worked on, but I think has to be my favorite, just because of how like connected I feel with the team and the project, and how wonderful the fans are too.
Yeah.
Like, the entire fandom's just so wonderful and creative and sweet. But yeah, it has to be Has Been.
Yeah, I can't say I'm terribly surprised by that. Like, again, it's there's nothing like it out there.
I will say it's probably going to take a while for another project that I work on to like trump how much I've loved working on Has Been.
That's a very bold statement. That's a very committed statement. What is the hardest lesson you have had to learn?
I think this is a common answer to that question, but I think the hardest lesson I've had to learn is when not to work, which is very hard to teach yourself when you know that you like need to be working to make money, to make an income and build your career. And it's really difficult to remind yourself, oh right, if I don't stop for months on end, I'm gonna burn out and not like doing this anymore. Oh, I should take breaks. So like learning to set hours for yourself, like I should work from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. or whenever 8-hour normal schedule, and like take weekends, take breaks, because if you don't, you are going to burn out really hard, and you will get less done than if you had taken a break.
Probably a simpler, more lighter-hearted question after coming up with that. Any personal hobbies you have other than your animation? Anything you like doing in your spare time?
I'm really oddly obsessed with soap making.
That's not one I expected, but then again, I didn't expect the apricot farm either. That's why we have moments like this. It's very fun.
So
soap making. How did you get into that?
I've been watching endless hours of YouTube videos on it. Like okay, so do you know what ASMR is?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay, so it's like things that like relax you and chill you out.
I just get really close to the mic, and I hope everybody.
And yeah, most people know about like the whispering into the microphone thing, but there are like visual ASMRs too. And like crafts making can be an ASMR of sorts. So like watching Bob Ross or watching somebody make a clay figure or something like that. And so I kind of fell down into this rabbit hole of like soap making. And at first I just like watch them just to relax, because I love, all crafts makers have like this really chill, like soothing vibe about them. And I'm just like, oh, I could listen to this forever.
It's weirdly zen.
It's very zen. And the more I watched it, I was like, there's a lot of like artistic principles in this. Like you need to know color theory, you need to know design, you need to know like a lot of creative, principles in order to do this. And I'm like, I could do this. That would be a lot of fun. I want to make soap for people. I want to make obnoxious amounts of soap for my friends and just chuck it at them all the time and say, smell better. Like,
I have a couple of friends I'd like to do that to as well.
And so like I want to make like gem themed soaps and stuff like that. And so I have all the supplies and everything.
My girlfriend would love you if you did that.
And I've like dabbled in it a little bit, but I'm like a nervous baby whenever it comes to like anything new. So I'm taking it like super slowly. But yeah, I want to make like some lavender scented amethyst soap and stuff like that.
Sounds amazing, actually. What would you consider your biggest strength and your biggest weakness as an animator?
I'm really...
If that question even has an answer, because honestly I have no idea. I was just kind of find a question straight down.
Just throw them out there.
Yeah, pretty much, see what sticks.
I think my biggest strength is I can get a lot of work done fast when I need to. I've gotten... So usually a minute of animation in my experience with freelance is like a month or two of work. I've done a minute of animation with cleanup, which is a whole separate process, which takes us a whole separate amount of time, in about 48 hours. So, when those deadlines start hitting and things need to go back and be revised and done at the last minute, I know how to crunch. But that is also part of the burnout that you should not do. So it's probably not a great strength to have, and I need to work on scheduling a little bit better, but it's fine. It's fine.
We all believe in you, it's fine, everything's great.
But as for weaknesses, I think I'm very self-critical, and that can get in the way of making sure my work looks the best it can. Because when you're distracted by like self-doubt, it makes it a lot harder to create. And I think that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. That, and I'm really bad at scheduling.
So this one I have on this list. What would, and this is going to be a little abstract, so be a little creative here with me for a minute. But what would you consider your I made it moment?
When I'm finally allowed to make a remake of Danny Phantom. I think that's my I made it moment.
If you did a remake of Danny Phantom, I would lose my mind because I love that show.
One of my friends who's currently working at Bento Box, that's the studio that makes Bob's Burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
Me and her are like determined that we're gonna get the rights to remake Danny Phantom, and we're like so determined to get this done.
I don't think you understand how much that would please me in my soul.
I want to make like Sam like an actual witch and like,
Yes, 150%.
and explore so much more of like the world.
Yeah, because there was a lot of world building opportunity that just wasn't capitalized on in that show.
I mean,
still
I
love
wanted to
that
stick
show.
to the slapstick, and I agree that definitely needs to stay. But it's like, oh, there's so much potential.
There's so much there.
This show needs to come back. I miss it. But yeah, no, that would be my I made it moment. When I was a kid, I thought my I made it moment would be when like I was getting like fan art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of that now, and it's so wonderful. But it's just like this constantly like moving finish line,
Yeah.
So I say that now, and I'm gonna make my Danny Phantom remake someday, and I'm still gonna be like, this isn't my I made it moment. What's my I made it moment gonna be?
Sure. Well, I think that's not necessarily a bad mindset to have, to always strive for new goals. I think that's very admirable of you. But I think that those are all the questions I have. So thank you very much for coming, Ashley. This was an absolute gem. I'm going to hand it off to the tech people at this point to edit down. And I will see you later, Internet. Goodbye. Have a good day. Love you.
So Batman, how'd you like the panel?
I loved it.
Thanks, Batman.
No, I'm serious, I really liked it.
Oh.
You have no idea how hard it was to talk about mental health and keep a straight face while
Dude, I'm right there. I'm like,
You're not the only one.
I'm like asking these questions, and I'm like, there's Batman.
That was the challenge of my life.
Yeah, that was next level.
I tell people all the time, I got more issues than I do comics, you know? So, I mean, that's what it's all about, though. You know, say persevere and get through it and give it justice, damn it.
Exactly.
So I mean, open it, I guess, to like the few people that are actually here.
Hey, Igor, Sky, ask me things.
Hi guys.
Any
Yeah,
questions, people?
ask her things because
Are you a Batman
we're
kind
not
of
here.
gal or a Superman kind of gal?
Say what?
I don't think I'm given an option on that one.
I heard something about Superman. I'm like, you know what?
I didn't hear this.
Are you a Batman kind of gal or Superman kind of gal?
I think the answer's obvious. I mean, I wouldn't have invited Batman to my illustrious panel if,
I mean, the correct answer is Spider-Man, but I'm
That
just
wasn't an
saying.
option.
It's the only correct option.
I like Spider-Man. He doesn't bug me too much.
I like our Batman. It makes me happy.
But
Yeah, right?
I just had to change my number 3 times because Lois Lane keeps on calling me bitching about Superman. I'm like, okay, when is it this time? Okay, the guy saved you when you fall out of a tree, when you trip over a piece of sidewalk, when a cat scares you. She goes, well, we were intimate last night. He really is faster than a speeding bullet. I'm like, yeah, you're going to
SMC.
You know how to pick up Lois?
Yeah. It's fine, there's no children here.
so the actual audience member who's here, hi.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
We appreciate the one audience member that actually showed up.
I was asked
You're top
to
tier.
ask you how much animation is still done domestically as opposed to how much animation we farm out to other lower cost centers.
So the freelance projects that I've worked on have been 100% domestic, and a lot of animation is done domestically still, but you'd be amazed, most of that animation work isn't being called animation work anymore, it's being called storyboarding. Storyboards are getting ridiculously detailed. Storyboards at this point are almost full animations. And that is a lot of where the animation work has gone. I've never worked in a studio, so I can't say exactly how much animation work's being done in-house versus overseas, but I know most of it is overseas at this point, at least from what I've heard. And it's been that way for a while, so it's not like, the sky's falling or anything, that's just how it's always been. But one of the things that I do want to get into is storyboarding as well, because I know a lot of animation is involved in that, and if I want to do animation, But storyboarding is a whole other beast because you have to, learn about framing and like all that stuff, all the things that I'm bad at, so it'll be a journey.
Yeah, that actually came up in the Buzz Dixon panel just before this too. He had a lot to say on storyboarding and how that's evolved throughout the years.
Well, the cells are done by computer now, so I'm sure that's a lot easier on the production costs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to get into cell animation, I really do.
I own some cells myself, but of course
Nice.
Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just like the process. I mean, I guess for there's like forget the name of it, but it's a steady cell, and then there's in between the cells,
Yeah.
and then there's another steady cell.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like some of my friends, they have the in between cells. I'm like, why did you go with that? And they're like, it's what they gave me. I'm like, you need to ask for a steady cell. That way it's a solid picture, and then you get the flip book action. So, but I've always been fascinated with animation, and but it's just like now that they've gone to computer, it kind of makes me sad because it's just like, you're losing that art form.
Yeah, honestly, I really want to like figure out or develop a way to recreate the look of cells, because like there's a lot of texture, there's a lot of like tangibility that's lost in digital animation, and I really want to figure out how to capture the look of cells in digital animation, or I just want to make an animation with cells. I recently bought a VHS recorder the other day, just so I could like create that old VHS look, and so I'm gonna make some animation, try and recapture that cell look, and then convert it to a VHS tape, and just run the VHS tape like 100 times until it looks like garbage, and then re-record it with my capture card, and then put that on YouTube like, hey, look at this thing I made.
You did it.
I did it. It looks like trash. That was the point.
Yeah. Doesn't look like
Six
trash,
months.
it's vintage.
You have no idea how surreal it looks to hook up a VHS player to a 70-inch TV and play VHS.
You know what, that's right. I can't imagine that.
It's a very surreal experience. Your brain feels like everything's wrong.
That feels about
I'm
right.
not surprised you know what a VHS player is, because, I mean, I'm dating myself here, but it's just like, you guys are like kids to me, you know? Like, I'm just an old bat, you know?
No, I mean, I grew up with VHSs. That was absolutely a thing. I'm only 27. I had to do mental math for a minute.
Right?
I
Hi, Penny.
really love the look of VHS tapes. That's why I got a VHS player and I keep buying VHS tapes.
Or is Keisha just still dead?
We were watching it. I was looking
Because we've just been taking around this whole time. I should probably go find a phone book to change the model man to Clark Kent.
That's fair.
Did I get that out?
It was great having you here, Batman.
Yeah, Batman, you were top tier.
Yeah, we absolutely do. I mean,
I'm gonna be back tomorrow.
I'm in here basically all weekend. I know we have at least one.
I've got a panel on Saturday about marketing yourself online, and I have a panel on Sunday about animation.
Yeah, that's right.
Sunday I got 2 charity events that I gotta attend to, so
That's
I'll
fair.
be here on Sunday.
I was gonna say, I know.
You raise that money, Batman. You raise that charity.
Yeah, it's all about the kids for me. And I've been dressing up as Batman for 26 years. I'm an old bat. Like I ain't kidding. I'll show you. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, that's gonna be 6:30 tomorrow. Is the marketing panel.
I hope nobody shows up to the marketing panel because I'm sure not ready to host it.
So we can just make up more stuff?
Yeah, we'll just make things up.
That's fine.
Just grab that rattle.
That's my plan for my panel, so.
Marketing yourself online, first step, dress up as Batman. Second step, run through New York City.
That's right.
Nobody will know your name, but they'll remember you for the rest of their lives.
That's 100% accurate.
I once saw a man bathing at a gas station hose, and that was normal.
that is so cool.
And I'd be bathing.
Like, that does, I wish I could say that's surprising, but it's really not. No, not at all.
Don't forget, man, this is like, that's a place where they park cars on small elevators, which elevate them over other cars.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, New York doesn't function like the rest of
I was
America.
very late at a camel a week or so ago.
Just what I was gonna call you.
No, I've learned a long time ago
Like as a horse.
that you can never say there's no way anybody in the world would do X, because there is absolutely at least one person in the world who will do X. It doesn't matter what X is, somebody will do it.
That's right. Just because they can.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Live life. Be free.
That's right.
I mean, I guess you hear some stories and you go, why? Just why?
Do we have any more questions from
Please
the
don't all
Wyatt
at
audience?
once, you know what I'm saying?
There's only 3 people here.
You did in the way back.
I want my ficus still. You must find me a ficus.
Well, hang on.
I gotta work on it.
Hang on. You said a plant earlier. You did not specifically say a ficus.
I was okay with a plant earlier, but time has passed and my needs have changed.
Oh, okay. Like we're going back to apricot passion apparently.
I'm very passionate about plants.
Yes, about all forms of plant life.
Even though I can't, I was about to say cook a plant. I can't raise a plant to save my life.
I mean, clearly not if you're confusing the process of raising plants with cooking them.
God, that's my problem, isn't it?
Probably. Just,
I've been doing it wrong the whole time.
I don't have a very green thumb myself, but if I had to take an educated guess. I like playing with the microphone. It's very fun.
It makes me feel important.
Do you guys want to play with the microphone?
Kind of want some drinks.
Dude, let's get drinks.
Yeah, that sounds like.
All right,
Let's
go
go
get
get
drinks.
We can
All right.
I will.
Panel's over, everybody go home.
Yeah, get the hell out.
No, seriously. Thank you, Batman, and one other person who joined us
Yeah.
for joining the panel.
Batman, top tier. One dude who actually showed up for the panel, top tier.
Who am I to say no to Batman? I'll do a panel for one. I don't care. We'll do it live.
Facebook Live?
Yeah, that's exactly that thing I said.
Batman, can I get a picture?
To the panel.
Look, the picture is part of the panel, man. Like we're getting on with
It's
it.
a very
fine.
important part of the panel.
Yeah, very important. It's that's just how it do. So Ashley, I'm sorry. Can I call you Ashley? That was very presumptuous. of
I'm
me.
just still laughing over the fact that the only person who showed up to my panel is Batman, and
Look,
that's kind of the best thing
I was
in the
gonna
whole
say,
world.
like that's a good Twitter post right there. Let's be real. Oh,
Batman, do you want to join us?
Batman, do you want to do the panel with us? We'll do it live.
Right?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Yeah, this
We have
is
special
this
guest
is
Batman?
yeah, this is a moment with Ashley panel. Special guest Batman.
Yes, we have to do the selfie.
This pleases my soul.
Hey, announcer dude, look over.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm an adult. I'm an adult. I have a
I'm the
bow tie
guest
on.
here.
So was Batman your inspiration for all your odds?
So, what was the inspiration for Batman in Has-Been Hotel?
So Batman has been my lifelong greatest inspiration. And I must say it's an honor today.
If you were to say any character was most like Batman in your show, who is it?
I would say Batman personally.
Batman, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, Batman is probably the most Batman-esque.
Did you have actual questions prepared for me?
I mean,
Or did you just decide you were gonna...
I did, but I'm just kind of like flying off the cuff right now.
I mean, there are bats in the show, so right?
Are there?
I don't.
There are!
Are there?
There is one character who has like bat wings. And it's totally like a Batman kind of like creepy kind of night creature.
I'm not creepy.
No, you're just
You're
weird.
cuddly and adorable, you're right. I'm sorry.
That's
I am the terror of the night. Oh God, what has this panel turned into?
Something wonderful.
It's this panel has now turned into like a moment of Ashley was clearly supposed to be like a Q&A thing. Now it's just become like, I don't know if this is recording or going up on social media, so I'm gonna censor myself. It's now just turned around into mess around with Ashley Nichols, like famed animator of marvelous projects, Batman, some dude in a bow tie, the tech guy behind the camera, and the con chair.
The entire audience.
Yeah, the entire audience. Yeah, and the entire audience filled with our imaginary friends.
Hey, he was supposed to find a plant for us, but he
That's
never
true.
found it.
That's
I
true.
wanted a ficus in the front row seat, and you let me down.
You know what? In fairness, he is the tech guy, not the plant guy, so I'm gonna give him some credit there.
Rob,
If
next
you-
to your plant wrangler, come
I was
on.
gonna say, if you want to blame anybody, blame the con chair.
You gotta get because you brought me here, so.
We
Did you
get
really
that.
drag him in here?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Did you find Batman?
Like-
You're like, I have the perfect panel. It's
Like,
great."
hang on.
Let's just
hang
say
on,
yes.
Hang on. Let's be real. And here's the first question of the Q&A portion. Also the only question I have currently. If you had to, for this panel, have only one audience member / fellow panelist apparently, would you rather have a plant or Batman?
It's a really hard.
It's well, I mean, like,
I mean,
would
it's
it
Batman.
depend on would it depend on the plant?
Is it a
Follow-up question.
Batman-shaped plant?
Oh, good question.
You know what? Really, the correct answer is the best of both worlds, poison ivy.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's right.
I got Calamine in the car.
So, here's a question for people.
Do you have a question back there?
Speak up. I can't. Huh?
No. So here's a question. I have a deck of love letter in my pocket. Do we just want to play that for an hour?
Well,
You
here's a real question, actually.
Okay,
Do we
shoot.
want to pseudo run the panel, just record it, so we have something to show for recording, and maybe it could be used later?
I mean, you're the con chair. That's your call.
How many questions you got? Is it like a good 25-minute show?
I mean, I've got like a solid like 10 questions here, so I was assuming like.
Ashley, what do you
And then-
think? Do you
I'm
want
up for
to-
whatever.
Do you want to like try and run it as if we were running a real panel, just to kind of have that portion to have videotaped and we have something to show?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're gonna obviously show it so many people who are not here
Yeah.
can
That's
see it.
that's
Yeah.
You
fair.
could make this the entire blooper reel.
Well, that too.
Yeah, you
that
know
too.
what? I kind of want to see that. I want to see a blooper reel.
Yeah, just,
Hey, it's all caught on footage. Last, I'd say 5-7 minutes.
That's fair.
yeah,
I mean,
so,
I mean, I'm amused if nothing else.
make some gold.
So then, do we just not even acknowledge the fact that Batman?
No, we don't acknowledge Batman at all. I'm dying a little bit. I'm
It
sorry.
says 3 seconds, but it's 4. It's old.
Batman, you
I
need new
mean, I
technology.
would think that would make it really interesting and funny.
Okay, I'm
You guys are
listening.
running the panel and
Let's just
Batman.
run it totally normally.
Yeah.
Just there. I'm totally down with that. Batman, do
I
you
mean, we could even do something more. It's just you two starting the panel, and then Batman walks
comes in.
sits down, be really
Yeah.
intrigued by the thing while you guys don't bat an eye. And then,
How do you feel about that, Batman? You wanna mess with the general populace that sees our social media?
What do you need me to do?
so we're gonna start the panel with just them two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and at some point, whenever you feel like it, you're just gonna walk in, sit down.
Yeah.
Should I sit down right here and then?
Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah,
really
right in between us.
intrigued by the entire panel. I
Just
don't
like
know how
don't
long you
like
do
we're not even gonna acknowledge your presence. We're
Yeah.
just gonna keep going like it's nothing.
Sounds good.
And then, like, if you'd like to exit or just stay for the whole
Alright,
thing.
so I'll wait like maybe 3-5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
100%.
Batman's a patient man.
Batman,
Yeah,
yeah, he is the knight.
I like this idea.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
You good?
Yeah,
Good to go?
Batman or two.
Okay.
still rolling.